We're here. We're here. We're here. I'm ready. Who the fuck said I wasn't ready? Who the fuck said I was not ready? Because I was. Just remember, when they say, was SCS Man ready to predict some football? I was. A little late. Usually I like to do this at the beginning of August. No later than that. Because although it's best to obviously do it as late as possible, predicting the records for teams can be very difficult and very sort of all over the place. Typically because you don't never account for injuries. You never account for some players are busts. You never can really predict breakout players. Like going into last year's season, no one knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to be nearly as good as he was. Thank you, Kevin, for the sub. Appreciate that. Very, very much. I may not read chat as much as I usually do. I'll try my best to read it relatively often. But if I fail to do so, do be aware it's not because I don't care what you guys are saying. It's just because I am going to be very into this. So for the next likely 2 hours, this is going to be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. For the next likely 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, I don't know, it depends. As I kind of get my bearings together, I'm going to predict the record for all 32 NFL teams for the regular season. Every division, every conference, every single team, all 32. I'm going to talk about how I think they are going to do in the 2019 season. I'm not just making guesses, although I guess that is kind of what this is. But I am going off of some stuff. Number one is I'm going to be going off of their record last year and how I think they improved, or I guess didn't improve as a team since last year based on their record. I'm also, with my bold predictions, going to think of some players that maybe breakouts. I'll think of some players that I think maybe busts. I'm predicting teams I don't think I'm going to do as good. I'm going to think of coaching changes. I'm going to think of the draft. I'm going to think of a lot of factors. The big factors I'm not going to consider is number one, preseason. We're right now, as of recording this, only the week one preseason has happened. Off of that, you can make some predictions of how players are going to do, maybe. But it's still a little too early. So preseason does not have an effect on this. Obviously, that's important. Trades after today. So today is August 12th, and trades would have been very important last year. I think I made my predictions, and I want to say like the first week of August. And for example, Khalil Mack was one of the big off-season trades last year. He was traded just a few weeks before the season began from the Raiders to the Bears, and that had a huge effect. The Bears did very well last year. I don't think it was all because of him. Hello, Darwin. I don't think Khalil Mack carried the Bears last year, but to say he did not have a profound effect on that defense would be a master understatement. But so it is hard to say the trades. Holdouts also is something I really can considering. Clowney for the Texans, Elliott for the Cowboys. Those are some of the holdouts that come to my mind. But what I can do is think of players that have a history with getting injured, a history with, causing problems, like, for example, Antonio Brown already causing problems. Not even the season hasn't even begun yet. I can think of players like that and think how that may affect their record. So I'm going to go through all 32 teams. I'm going to say how I think they improved, how I think they're going to do, and what to look out for. So I'm going to start with the AFC East. I'm going to start with the AFC, I should say. Go from East, North, South, and then West. And then do the same with the NFC. I'm going to try to stay unbiased. I'm going to be talking about my team, obviously, at some point. I'm going to be talking about teams that I strongly dislike, including the first team I talk about. So I'm going to try my best to stay sort of biased, to really think how I think this team's going to do overall. That may be a little difficult, especially when we get to my team. Although with my team, I actually might be a little harsher on them because I have a lot of negative feelings towards them. But we're going to talk about that when we get to them. So every single team, I'm going to predict the record. I do want to see what you guys say in the chat. I'm going to spend probably around 5 to 10 minutes on every single team, most likely. So do be aware of that. And we're starting off. The first team the Super Bowl champions, my hometown team, the New England Patriots. And they may be my hometown team, but goddamn, do I fucking hate the Patriots. But that's besides the point. My hatred of the Patriots is not going to have, hopefully, an effect on this. Let's talk about the Patriots. All right. Number one, my opening statement about the Patriots is I think overall they're going to decline. But I don't think too much. I think overall they're gonna have a little bit of a tougher schedule. I should say schedule has a very big effect on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up their schedule. I'm gonna go game by game. Well, I guess I'll do that after actually. I'm gonna start off. This is my first team. I'll get in a rhythm, I swear. Let's look at Patriots schedule. From my memory, they have a relatively tough schedule. Let's see. I'm just looking at their schedule really quick, just glancing at it. Yeah, it's tougher. I wouldn't say it's hard. Actually, it's probably not too bad. But it's definitely tougher than probably last year's schedule. Maybe. Yeah. They have some tough games here and there. So, number one, I think the Patriots are going to slightly decline in quality. I guess starting off with their defense. Their defense has some up and downs last year, but obviously at the very end, they had an incredible defense, probably in the last half of their season, especially in the playoffs, and especially in the Super Bowl, holding the Rams down quite a bit. I think that the Patriots will still have a pretty solid defense. Brian Flores, who, by the way, I have met Brian Flores, very, very cool guy. Brian Flores is obviously the coach of Miami now, and I think because of that, I think the defense will get slightly worse. I think he was a pretty good defensive coordinator. I don't think he was amazing by any standard. But I think at the very least, their defense is going to get slightly worse. They have a few players to look out for on defense. Some really solid defensive players. But I think overall, their defense, not the most consistent defense. And I just don't think that they're going to be anything too special this year. Their offense is a different story. I think their offense is going to be just fine. Obviously, you have Tom Brady, who undeniably is one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game. He obviously is getting much older. I think it's going to have an effect. And I think the big thing with Tom Brady, and it happened with Peyton Manning, and it happens with most old quarterbacks, is there's going to be a game. There's going to be the game. And by that, I mean there's going to be the game where Tom Brady goes from playing how he's been playing, which has been really, really a high level. Maybe last year he was definitely one of his, I mean, saying this with a grain of salt because he just won a fucking Super Bowl, but one of his worst years. But he still really held together, did a very good job. Had a lot of really good playmakers around him, and they really shined. But I think overall, yes, I think that that there's going to be the game where it goes from how Tom Brady was to a Tom Brady that is, I think, significantly worse. I don't think he's going to be terrible, but he's going to be aging, and I think he's going to have some issues here and there. There's going to be the game, and that could be this season, could be next season. That's going to happen. It's going to be the game, whatever that game may be. Another big blow for the offense is they lost Gronk, who is easily one of their best, not even I would say playmakers. I don't think he was much of a playmaker last year. Last year he didn't do too solid, but he didn't need to be, right? The thing about Gronk is he caught a lot of passes that need to be caught, especially either in the Super Bowl. But another thing Gronk did that is vastly underrated, very rarely discussed, is his blocking. Gronk is an excellent blocker. He's an incredible blocker. And as a tight end, if he wasn't catching the ball or attempting to catch the ball, he was blocking if he was out in the field. And that is something that they're going to miss quite a bit. Not as from an offensive line standpoint, but more from creating plays, right? Gronk would block people and create other openings for other wide receivers like Edelman, and it would create lanes for like Sony Michel, who, by the way, I think is going to be just as good as he was last year. I don't think Sony Michel was incredible. I wouldn't even say he was a top 5 running back last year, but he was definitely a consistent runner, and he showed it with the Patriots, and he had a very good year last year, especially in the playoffs. He won the Super Bowl. So Sony Michel, coming into his second year, definitely one to look out for. Other things in mind, I don't know. There's a lot. Patriots have a lot going on. They actually don't have too many changes, I should say, but they do have a lot going on when it comes to contracts. Brady getting extended, but a lot of contracts coming up. They have a lot of sort of players to look out for. Josh Gordon could come back. That's up in the talks. I doubt it. If he does, I think they're a way better team with him. But that's besides the point. So, looking at their schedule here, I'm just going to go through the game. Steelers, I think they lose to. Opening. I actually don't think the Steelers are going to be that great this year. As we'll get to them later, I don't think they're going to be incredible. But I think they're going to lose to the Steelers. I just think that it's opening game. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. Just have a weird feeling the Steelers are going to beat them. I think they'll beat the Dolphins the first game. So making them 1-1. I think the Jets they will win their first game against the Jets, going 2-1. I think they'll beat the Bills 3-1. Redskins, I think they'll squeeze by 4-1. The Giants, that's my team. They do have a tough time against the Giants every time they play them. Not too confident in the Giants, especially because Patriots are at home. I really hope they go to that game. I don't think I'm going to end up making it. It's literally 20 minutes away from where I live. Or not 20 minutes, I guess like 40 minutes away from where I live. Huge Giants fan, obviously. Probably not going to get to see them. But I think they'll win that one, making them 5-1. I think they'll actually lose to the Jets the second time, and I actually think they'll lose to the Browns, making them 5-3. I think the Ravens, they might not have a hard time with, but I think the Eagles and then the Cowboys, they will, making them 5-5. I just have a feeling they're going to have a hard time. They're going to be 5-5, right? But I think ultimately they'll beat the Texans. I think they'll lose to the Chiefs, making them 6-6. I think they'll beat the Bengals, making them 7-6. Beat the Bills, making them 8-6, or 9-6 rather. And I think they'll beat the Dolphins, making them 10-6. So I am giving the Patriots a solid 10-6. And I don't think that this is. I know people might look at this and say 10-6. That's ridiculous. There's no way the Patriots are going to be that average or good. 10-6 is good. But yeah, I think so. I think they'll finish 10-6. I think they'll win their division. The Jets probably had the best chance of beating them in their division, which I'll actually get to in a couple of teams. But I don't know. I think the Patriots will probably win the division 10-6. Keep it in with that. 10-6, they'll do fine. All right. Next team. Just got a brand new head coach, who I met, by the way. Brian Flores, really cool guy. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are a weird team. So they have Fitzpatrick, who I don't love Fitzpatrick. I know he has sometimes pulls out that Fitz magic, but he also pulls out that Fitz tragic. And he's pretty inconsistent overall. Not too high on him. But they also got Josh Rosen, who I think is one of the, I don't want to say underrated, underappreciated quarterbacks. The dude was a rookie last year. He played for the Cardinals, and they fucking got rid of him. To be fair, the Cardinals had a first-year head coach and a first-year quarterback, gave him 1 year and told him to hit the road, and then drafted Kyler Murray and drafted a dude who had a losing record in college at fucking Kingsbury. So you know what? Cardinals organization is just a fucking mess. But I think the Dolphins won here. I'm not... though I met Brian Flores, really cool guy. I'm not huge on him as a head coach. I don't think he's going to do anything incredible. I think he will win. I said he'll win one game against the Patriots here. I like the dude, but I don't think he's going to be an amazing head coach. He might have a read on the Patriots, but I'm not huge on him. But I like the Dolphins. Depends who they start as quarterback. They're looking like they're going to start Fitzpatrick, who I'm not huge on. I don't really love that much. But I do think Josh Rosen could improve. I do think he should be the starter. I don't think they're going to make him the starter. I just have a feeling they're not going to. He might just be their future quarterback, and they're just saving him. I think that's a stupid move. I think they should totally start off with Josh Rosen. He didn't have an incredible leadership, but he was a fucking rookie. Peyton Manning had a rough rookie. I'm not going to say this guy's next Peyton Manning, but give him a fucking chance here. But they lost some of the defensive guys. I'm not huge in their defense. I think their offense is all right. I think if they start Josh Rosen, they could do a few things here and there. But I'm not huge on the Dolphins. I'm just going to say that right now. Looking at their record, I think they'll lose to the Ravens week 1. I think they'll lose to the Patriots originally, making them 1-1. I think they're going to lose to the Cowboys. I think they'll lose to the Chargers. I think even the Redskins will probably beat them, making them 1-4. They could beat the Bills, putting them at 2-5, and the Steelers they'll probably lose to, making them 2-5. Jets, no, I think the Jets are better, 2-6. Definitely going to lose to the Colts. They have a tough schedule. Holy shit, 2-7 for them. Yeah, they're going to lose to the Colts. The Bills, They beat them once. You know what? I'm gonna be generous and say they beat them again, sweep them. Highly unlikely, but I'm gonna throw them a bone. I think even the Browns they'll lose to, the Eagles they'll lose to, the Jets they're gonna lose to, the Giants. I don't know. I think they'll actually beat the Bengals and the Patriots rather in their last 2 weeks. So I think depending on the Giants are at home. I'm gonna be a little generous and say the Giants beat them. So I'm putting them, not very high. I don't think that they're going to be that good. And maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I'm being pretty harsh on the Dolphins. I think they're going to have a little bit of a rough year here. Putting them at 5-11. I just don't see them doing anything incredible. I think they're in a tougher division. Not that the Bills are going to be amazing, but I think out of between the 4 teams, they're the weakest team. They're going to be transitioning. Even if you start Josh Rosen, who I think is going to be pretty solid, they're going to have a little bit of tough time on defense. I think making some plays, they'll have a little bit of tough time. I'm not huge, again, on the coaching situation. We'll have to see if the ultimate plays out to something. But I don't have too much else to say about the Dolphins. I just don't think they're going to be that good. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe they'll get some playmakers, but I don't see it happening. A team I do have to talk more about, though, the Bills. I think the Bills will be all right. I think they'll be okay. Even though I did have them getting swept by the Dolphins, which is generous. And I think less so saying the Dolphins are going to beat them and just giving the Dolphins random games because that happens in the NFL. But I think I'm just not too high on the Bills right now. I'm not feeling the Bills. As much as I am a team like the Jets, who I think could be an underdog, I'm not feeling that with the Bills. But I'm not anti-Bill. Their quarterback, Allen, he has work to do, just like Josh Rosen. But I think obviously he played more games, and I think did he play more games? Actually, I'm not too confident on that. But I think he has a little bit more experience. I think he has a better coach, at least, maybe not a better coach, more experienced coach behind him. And I think he has a pretty good, some decent weapons with the running game. The defense isn't terrible, but nothing I would call amazing. I'm not sold on the Bills. I'm not sold on them. But I think they'll be all right. Looking at their schedule, I don't really have too much to say about I do have more to say about the Jets, I will be honest. But the Dolphins and Bills are 2 teams that I really don't have much to say about. I just think they're going to kind of continue their trends. I think they'll lose to the Jets week 1. I think they'll even lose to the Giants week 2 rather. So lose to both other New York teams. But I think they'll beat the Bengals, maybe. They'll lose to the Patriots. They'll lose to the Titans. I had them losing against the Dolphins. I'll stick with that. But I think they'll pull a surprise against the Redskins. They'll lose to the Eagles. But I think they'll have a little bit of a stretch here. They may lose to the Browns and the Dolphins. But I think they'll beat the Broncos. I think they may even pull a surprise and beat the Cowboys. I have them beating the Patriots at the end, and maybe even the Jets they'll go 1-1 against, and then maybe the Steelers. So I'm putting them at a generous. I think they'll have a few surprise games. I'll put them a little more generous than other teams, but I'll put them at a below average losing record. But I'll put them at 7-9. Again, I think they obviously are in a tough division. I think obviously the Patriots are going to give them trouble. I think that, as I'm going to talk about in a second, I think the Jets are going to get better. So I am not too high on the Bills. I think they'll obviously be better than the Dolphins, but I think they have a little bit of a tough year in front of them. They have a lot of tough teams. The AFC East in general has a lot of tough teams. Maybe not so much in the NFC with the NFC East, but the AFC North, especially the Browns and the Ravens, I think can be a little bit tough. So that's where I'm putting them at. The Bills. So the other New York team we're going to be talking about is the Jets. And the Jets has been admittedly, and I don't mean this against Jets fans, although, I'm not going to say I'm not a huge Jets lover myself, I'm not going to lie, but, you know what I mean? What am I going to say here? But I do think the Jets, are going to stop being the laughing stock. And I think they're going to have a good year. Adam Gase, Adam Gase, whatever his name is, he's all right. He's an all right head coach. I think he'll do better. And I think he'll be better this year with the Jets than he was with the Dolphins. And I think he will be all right from, I guess, a coaching perspective. I think he's a fine coach. I just think he had pretty bad luck with the Dolphins. Pretty bad. I just don't think the Dolphins are that good. He had a bad, I guess, hand dealt to him. They got Le'Veon Bell, which I think is an improvement on the running. I don't know anyone can deny that. I do think their defense is going to struggle. I'm not too confident on their secondary. Their cornerbacks a little rough, but I think Sam Darnold is going to get better. I think it'll just objectively get better. I actually like Sam Darnold quite a bit. I think he can be good. I think he can improve quite a bit, and I think he'll ultimately probably improve. I think he'll improve. I think he'll probably improve as a leader, improve as someone who's more comfortable in the pocket. He's a pretty good mobile quarterback. He's a little bit, at least last year, a little bit crazy or a little bit risky with those interceptions, with those throws that turn into interceptions. But I think overall, they're just going to be a solid team. I think what holds them back for me is their record. I don't think they're going to be amazing, but I think they're a possible playoff team, probably a wild card team. Looking at this now, I think they'll beat the Bills week 1, lose to the Browns. I think they'll originally beat the Patriots. Oh, sorry, lose to the Patriots. They played the Patriots week 3 and week 5? Who the fuck makes the schedule? They play them a month apart. They play them the end of September and the end of October. They don't play November, December. That's whoever made this fucking schedule. Jesus Christ. So sorry, going back, they'll beat the Bills, lose to the Browns. I think they'll lose to the Patriots, even lose to the Eagles, and I even lose to the Cowboys. But I think they'll beat the Patriots. I think they'll beat the Jaguars. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. I think they'll Hey, what's up, DJ? How you doing? Jets and Giants. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say they beat the Giants. I think they'll lose to the Redskins, but I think they'll beat the Raiders. I think they'll beat the Bengals. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. I even think they'll beat the Ravens or the Steelers. To beat one of them, lose to the other one, putting them at 9-6. I put them at 9-6. And I think they'll beat the Bills. Yeah, Hey, man, this is one of my riskier picks, but I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go. I think they'll actually probably lose to one of their last games. But I think ultimately, they're gonna go 9-7. I'm feeling 9-7. I think they'll be a solid game behind the Patriots, and they'll be close. But I think the Patriots will ultimately be better than them. But I think they make the wild card. Yeah, 9-7. I mean, maybe the number 6 seed, the Jets. I don't know. I like the Jets. What a waste of money. I don't know what that means. Don't know what you're talking about. But I'm feeling the Jets. That's just me. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be a playoff team. The defense definitely needs to get better. Also, have no idea what you're talking about, DJ. But I think their defense needs to get better. And I think their offense, Sam Darnold and Le'Veon Bell. Sam Darnold's going to improve. Le'Veon Bell's back. I think Le'Veon Bell's really good. I like Le'Veon Bell. I think they'll be good. Moving on to the AFC North. We're going to start with the Ravens. Who I don't know. Ravens are one of the toughest teams for me. A few things we're going to look for. Number one, their defense. Probably going to be just good. I'm confident in the Ravens defense. They haven't really lost anyone too crazy. They still have mostly the same defense. They had a really good defensive run at the end of the year last year, and I think they're going to keep on that. I really like their defense. I think offensively, there's some question marks. Obviously, right off the bat, Jackson. I don't know. No idea. I have no idea what's going to be going on with that. I like Lamar Jackson, but I'm not high on him. I don't mean the smoke kind. I mean, I don't love him. I think he had a really good run last year. I think he came out of nowhere and surprised people. I think there's one thing with Jackson. I like how he plays. I like his style, but it's risky, right? It's not a consistent style. It's a breakout style. It's a style that's going to if teams are not on guard, we'll catch them off guard. But it's not a style that I think is going to win them a Super Bowl, right? So the Ravens. I like their running game. I think their passing game is all right. It's not great. I think their offensive line's pretty solid. Again, I'm confident in their defense, but here's where I have to go with the Ravens. All right, week number 1, they're playing the Dolphins. Win. They'll beat the Dolphins. I have no confidence in that. No questions about that. And they have the Cardinals. They're going to beat the Cardinals. 2 easy wins right off the bat. But then they got some hard game. Chiefs are going to lose. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, well, I'll talk about later, will actually decline a little bit. I think people are really high in the Chiefs right now. I'm not super high in the Chiefs, and I have some reasons for it. They did objectively improve, but I had things to talk about them. I won't talk about that later. But I think they'll still lose to the Chiefs. The Browns, ooh. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. They're going to beat the Browns. The first time they play, they will beat the Browns. The first time they play. Steelers, they're going to lose to the Steelers. Steelers will be at home. They'll lose to the Steelers. I think they'll beat the Bengals. I even think they'll beat the Seahawks. And I said it. I think they'll beat the Patriots. Playing the Bengals again, I think they'll beat the Bengals. And the Texans are going to lose to. I think that they'll probably even be a better team than the Texans. I have some real problems with the Texans I'll talk about later. But I think the Texans will get this one. I don't know why. I just think matchup-wise, Texans are better than them. I think even Rams they lose to. 49ers, I think it's going to be close. 49ers is probably my biggest question mark team. Could go anywhere from being 3-13 to 13-3. Like, I honestly believe that. But I think they'll beat them. I'm going to say it's pretty safe. They beat them. I think they'll even beat the Bills. The Jets they'll beat. I think the Browns they'll lose to. And the Steelers they'll lose to the second time. So starting off 0-2. But finishing 0-2. I like the Ravens. I'm not super high. I don't think they're going to be one of the best teams. But I think they're a favorite to win the division, maybe, and that's with the Browns in them, and I'm going to talk about the Browns in a second, I swear to God. Before I talk about the Browns, I do want to say, I think they will at least be a wildcard team, maybe number 5, right above the Jets at 10-6. That's where I'm going with them, 10-6. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling 10-6. I'm feeling a 10-6 for the Ravens. I like the Ravens. Not as a team, I like them this year. But I'm not a superstar team by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, Steelers. Oh, Steelers. What do I think about the Steelers? Let me pull up their schedule 1 second, guys. I'll give them one thing. These fuckers have an easy schedule. Well, easier, I should say. They don't have to play the Chiefs. They don't really have too hard of a season. Yeah, they have a really easy season ahead of them. Wow, what's the strength of schedule for the Steelers? I feel like it's pretty low. Although they have a few in here in their division even. So I think they'll actually have a stretch of three games that they'll lose actually, but we'll talk about that in a second. So Steelers, number 1, defense. No one in the world will disagree that since Ryan Shazier got hurt, the Steelers defense has not been the same and has just been a pretty below average defense. They haven't been terrible, but they definitely have not been great, especially when it comes to covering the field. But they did just draft Big Boyo at number 10. God, I can't remember his name. I know who he is. I just have my brain is blocked. My thoughts can't exist. But I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers as an alright team. I think offensively, obviously, I mean, not that Bell played last year, but he's gone. They still have Connor, who I think is all right. Antonio Brown's gone, and I think that is nothing but good news for Steelers fans. Brown is objectively one of the most talented of wide receivers in the league. At the same time, he's just a headache. He didn't show up for the last game, caused a lot of drama. I think he caused a lot of distractions. I think that was worse than better. They have Juju. I like Juju. I think Juju isn't necessarily a breakout wide receiver like Antonio Brown, but he's consistent. Juju's consistent. As a number 1 receiver, I think he can take the reins. I really do. No, Big Ben, I'm not. Big Ben had a good year last year. He really did, actually, for the team he had. I think this year he's going to slip a little bit. He's getting older. It's not. I know these days quarterbacks are just, they last longer. But I'm not huge on him. I'm really not a huge believer in Ben Roethlisberger this year. I call him Roethlisberger. I do call him Burger. Big Benio. I'm not really a huge fan. So, I think I'll decline. Coaching wise, they're all right. I don't think they're gonna have a losing record, but I don't think they're gonna have an amazing season. But with the strengths of schedule, looking at this, I think they'll. I think there might be a wild card team with the Ravens here. Like, they could both be wild card teams. You could have a Jets as number 6 and the Ravens as number 5, maybe, and the Jets and the Steelers, like kind of like last year, barely not making it. Let's go over their schedule. The Patriots, I told you they're gonna win. They're gonna beat the Patriots week 1. I really think so. I think they're gonna surprise everyone. And trust me, I think the Patriots are favored, and I think they should win. But I think the Steelers will surprise everyone. Seahawks, they'll beat the Seahawks. 49ers, I'm going to give them the win. I'll even give them the win against the Bengals. No problem. Here's where I have a little bit of doubt. The Ravens are going to lose, I think, the first game. And the Chargers, they'll lose. I think both those teams will beat them. Don't think both those teams are going to be about the same record. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll beat the Steelers. Dolphins, they'll beat. No problem. Colts, they're going to lose to. Rams, they're going to lose to. And the first game against the Browns, they're going to lose to. Putting them at 5-5. I think they'll beat the Bengals. And what the fuck is up with the schedule here? Oh, because they have a bye. It's still weird, though. They play the Browns, the Bengals, and the Browns again. But I guess they have a bye in between there. Yeah. Yeah, they do have a bye. Still dumb, though. I think they'll actually lose to the Browns even the second time. I think they're going to get swept by the Browns. I really do. And I have something to say about the Browns, but we'll talk about that in a second. They'll beat the Cardinals. They'll beat the Bills. Ooh. This is where I'm. They're going to lose. I think the last 2 games, I think they'll beat the Jets, but they'll lose to the Ravens. Putting them at what I think is going to be their record, right below the Ravens. And I think wild card team 9-7. What do I have the Jets finishing as? The Jets are also 9-7. Is my prediction. So my prediction is the Steelers and the Jets are going to have the same record, and I think that I don't know who it would come down to. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's very unlikely it's going to be the case, but I don't know, man. Again, I'm not huge on their defense. I think they definitely got that number 10 pick. They'll be better. But again, not huge on it. And their offense, I like some of the parts. Big Ben on it, and I'm not confident. Not confident. Cleveland, the team that ruins dreams, including Cleveland fans and everyone else apparently. All right. Listen. Y'all know I'm salty when it comes to the Browns. And y'all know I'm a little biased. There's a few teams in the NFL that I want to fail. And one of them is the Browns. Not only do I just want them to fail because I never really like the Browns too much, but I also, am a little salty, and I know it's not his fault. But with the whole Beckham situation, obviously I'm a Giants fan. We'll talk about the Giants later. The whole Beckham trade's got me down. I'm still got me down. I'm not going to lie. That wound has not been healed. However, with Beckham's constant talk about the Giants, which I understand, I feel his pain, but let it go. Let it go. I think, I'm going to talk about Beckham specifically, I think Beckham was going to do really good and improve the team, and I think they will win this division. But I think everyone's hyping them up a little bit too much. Let me tell you why. Defensively, they're good. Not even going to lie. Defensively, they're really good. They have a solid defense. They did lose a few people here and there from trades and stuff, but overall, defensively, very solid. Nothing to talk about there. They're good. Top 10 defense for sure. Quarterback, they're really good. I am super high on Baker Mayfield. I think if he played all 16 games, he'd probably be the Rookie of the Year. Saquon does deserve it, and I will die on that hill. But do not get me wrong. Baker Mayfield, really good quarterback. Incredible quarterback. He obviously now has Nick Chubb, who's really good. They have Kareem Hunt, who I think has a 7-week suspension. Let me look that up. I want to get that confirmed. Because I think when he comes in, they will improve. I gotta look that up. 1 second. 8 games. So he will miss half the season. He'll be back for 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'll be back for the Bills. Okay. But they have a tough schedule. The Browns actually have a tougher schedule than the Steelers. Very bizarre. Let's get to it though. Odell Beckham Jr. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most talented wide receivers in the league. I also think he can be a little bit too talkative. I think he can run into off the field problems. And number one, no one's talked about this. He's prone to injury. He has not played a full season in 3 years. And he's only played, I believe, 2 full seasons in his entire career. He was injured his first year. His second and third, totally fine. Fourth and fifth, both injured. So I'm not huge on Beckham being the saving grace. I think he'll open up a lot of spots for Baker. I think he's a very good wide receiver. And I think that, he does have potential to get hurt, though. Let's not lie about that. Okay, I guess we'll get to the Browns. I think starting off week 1, they'll beat the Titans. Oh, what did I say about the Jets? I think they'll lose to the Jets. They'll beat the Jets. They'll beat 2-0. Rams are going to lose 2. Ravens are going to lose 2. Just have a feeling. 49ers, they'll beat. Seahawks, they'll beat. Patriots, they're going to lose 2. Broncos, they'll beat. They'll beat the Broncos. They'll beat the Bills as well. Steelers, they're going to lose. They're going to beat the Steelers, but they're going to beat the Dolphins, but I think they're going to lose to the Steelers. I think they will beat the Bengals, beat the Cardinals, and I think they'll lose to the Ravens, but they'll beat the Bengals. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I think they'll actually beat the Ravens, beat the Bengals, but I'm actually going to take away their... I'll take away their another game. I think they'll lose another game. Not sure who. Overall, though, I think they're going to be pretty good. I think they're going to finish at a pretty solid... a pretty decent 11-5. Not huge confidence in their coaching staff still. It's way better, obviously. But not huge on their coaching staff. We'll ultimately have to see how that plays out. 11-5. 11-5. They'll be fine. They will be just fine. 38 minutes in. Wow. Not even through 2 divisions. Gotta speed this up a little bit, guys. Bengals. Not feeling them. Not feeling them. I'm not feeling their quarterback situation. I do not like Andy Dalton. They fucking still have Mr. fucking, the hell's his name? I literally was just talking about Marvin Lewis. They still have Marvin Lewis as coach. I'm not huge on Marvin Lewis. AJ Green has an injury. How serious is that? Let's look that up. Because that's huge. If he has a serious injury. And I think ultimately defense isn't that good. Don't think they're terrible, but I don't think they're great. AJ Green is going to be out for... How is... It doesn't say. I'm trying to find out how long AJ Green's out for. I'm not actually sure. But I think he's going to be out for a while. If not the whole season. Ligament. Oh, ligament damage in his ankle. He's missing at least about 7-8 weeks. Just saying here. So half the season at least. Yeah, that's going to be huge. And the first half of the season is actually is actually probably their easier half, but it's not easy. Yeah, I'm not confident in Dalton with AJ Green out. I don't think they have many weapons. They have a few good offensive players, that I think will shine up, and I think they probably get a few drafted players that would be fine. I think they may have even a few surprises, maybe a few surprise players. But I'm not feeling them. I'm not feeling the Bengals. I'm sorry. I think they're going to lose week 1 to the Seahawks. I think they'll even lose against the 49ers. I really do. I think they'll lose to the Bills. I think they'll lose to the Steelers. I think they'll beat the Cardinals. Lose to the Ravens. I'm going to give them the Jags. I really am. I'm going to say they're going to lose to the Rams. I'm going to give them the Raiders. Lose to the Ravens. I think they'll beat the Steelers at home. Maybe. But the Jets, they're going to lose to. The Browns, they'll lose twice to. Patriots and Dolphins, between that, they'll beat one and lose against one. So yeah, one of the weaker teams for me, the Bengals are going to be. I think they'll have some surprise games. I think they're going to finish last in their division, but I think they'll have some surprise games. 5-11. 5-11. They'll win some surprise games. I think they'll win one game where it's like, how the hell did they win that game? Right? They always have that. I think every team always has that. But yeah, not feeling them, man. They haven't made enough changes for me. I think they need a new head coach. I think they need a new quarterback. That's always been my position for a while now. But do not get me wrong. Not feeling the Bengals. Texans. Clowney's holding out. How that ends will be a big factor. Texans have a pretty decent defense. I'm not even gonna lie. I think their defense is pretty solid. Here's where I think they're not solid. Their offensive line last year was terrible, atrocious, awful. If that can get better, I think they'll be all right. Deshaun Watson, I think, is going to be fine. He's going to be all right as long as he can have a line. I think Hopkins is going to be just as good as he was last year, one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yeah, I like the Texans. I like the Texans. If they can't fix their offensive line problems, they're going to have a lot of issues, especially I think being in a pretty tough division. And we'll get to that more in a second, obviously. But let me talk about the Texans. Opening up against the Saints, I think they'll lose that one. I think they'll beat the Jaguars. I even think they'll beat the Chargers, and they're going to beat the Panthers. I think they'll lose to the Falcons. I think they'll lose to the Chiefs. I think they'll lose to the Colts. I think they'll beat the Raiders. Beat the Jaguars. Close one against the Ravens. I think they'll ultimately win. But I think they'll lose against the Colts. I'm going to get swept. I think they're going to lose against the Patriots. I think they'll beat the Broncos. I think they'll beat the Titans. I think they'll beat the Bucks. Between the Bucks and the Texans, between the Bucks and the Titans, like they'll win one, lose one. So maybe I'm not as high as them as I thought. Another 9-7 AFC team fighting for that wild card. We got the Steelers and the Jets for me, both 9-7. So fighting for them. I think they'll be all right. 9-7's all right. It's not bad. It's above 500. Barely. But it is. Don't have much to say about them. We'll see how Clowney ends up working out. They have a lot of shit they need to work on. The Colts. I don't have them at 9-7. I have them winning the division. And yes, I know Andrew Luck is hurt. And if I think Andrew Luck is out, I think at best they're an all-right team. I think Jacoby Brissett can do all right with this team. I think this team is much better than when he was playing. But with Andrew Luck, I think they're a possible Super Bowl team. I really think they're that good. Defense incredible. Darius Leonard, one of the best rookie defenders last year. The best rookie defender last year. They picked up a lot of players, defensive players, some from the Chiefs. Some from other locations. Their defense has only gotten better, and I think they're going to be a top 8 defense, maybe top 5. Maybe like top 6. Around there. Really good defense. Again, Andrew Luck, a big question mark. If he's in most of the season, they're good. If he's not, I'll have to see. I don't know. He's injury prone. Like Odell Beckham. I don't know. I'm not loving that. But they have T.Y. Hilton. They have Ebron. They have a really good offensive line. They have really good offensive players. They have a really good Defense, I think if they can stay healthy, I'm super high on the Colts. If they can't stay healthy with Andrew Luck and maybe some other players, I'm still not ruling them out. I think they have good coaching, good defense, good offensive line, good offensive players. I think they're really good. I like the Colts a lot. I think they're going to beat the Chargers. I think they'll beat the Titans. The Falcons would be a close one. I think actually they might even lose to the Falcons. I just have a feeling. They'll beat the Raiders. The Chiefs. I don't know, man. I do not know. They're at Kansas City, so I'm giving them the loss on that. But here's where I think they'll break out. I think they'll beat the Texans. I think they'll beat the Broncos. I think they'll beat the Steelers. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. I think they'll beat the Jaguars. I think they'll beat the Texans. I think they'll beat the Titans. I think they will lose. No, I think they'll beat the Bucks. They'll lose to the Saints. Oh, yeah, they're going to beat the Panthers. Lose to the Jags. No. Take it back. They're going to lose one game to the Texans, but they'll beat the Panthers and Jags. So that's good. Yeah, I'm putting him at right now the best record for me so far of all the teams. I am putting at the Indianapolis Colts at 12-4. A lot of risk here. I don't necessarily think they can. I'm not. They gotta show me that they can stay healthy, but they have a stacked team, a stacked defense, a stacked offense, and I think they have a pretty relatively easy schedule. Their division's not too tough, as I'll get to in a second with the next two teams, but the division's not too tough. The Texans are the toughest team in the division they gotta get through, but I think they can get through them once. They'll lose once to them, but I think they'll overall beat them once as well. Moving on now to another change team. Well, actually not necessarily a change team, but an interesting team, the Titans. The Titans have such a good defense, and nobody talks about it. I love the Titans defense. One of the best defenses last year. I think what's his name struggled early? Malcolm Butler. I think he'll get his bearings. A few draft picks here. They were a top, I think, 3 defense when it comes to letting points allowed. They did a very good job at shutting out some teams like the Giants. Very good job at holding teams to low points. They're really good. Where I'm not feeling them is their offense. I don't know what they're going to do in the quarterback situation. Injury prone. We have the injury prone there. Henry's a great running back, so they're good there. Some good wide receivers. But the quarterback situation, the coach situation, not huge on it. Not high on them. But I'm not anti them. I think the defense will carry a lot of their games. I think they will. Let me look at their schedule really here. Let me pull it up. I'm not huge on the Titans, but I'm not, we'll have to see. I think they're going to lose week 1 against the Browns, though, and even against the Colts. But I think they'll beat the Jaguars. I think they'll lose to the Falcons. I think they'll beat the Bills. I think they'll lose. They'll beat the Broncos. Chargers. They will beat the Chargers, but actually I'm going to lose against the Bucks. I'll have to beat the Panthers, lose to the Chiefs. I think they'll lose one game against the Jaguars. I'll give them this one. They'll lose this one against the Jaguars. I think they'll lose against the Colts. They'll beat the Raiders. I think Texans they'll go 1-1 against. And the Saints they're going to lose to. So, yeah. I have them going 8-8. Which is, I believe, their record the last couple of years. Which, if they continue that, good for them. But 8-8, not making the playoffs. Great defense, but I think they're going to lack on the offense. They'll fire their coach, I think. Maybe they go 7-9 as well. Fire their coach. We'll see. Yeah, not huge on them. Last team in the AFC South, the Jaguars. And I don't know how the fuck I feel about the Jaguars. Number 1, they got Nick Foles. Oh, let me just say their defense, they lost a lot of defensive players, actually. But I think their defense they have some injuries too. But I think their defense is going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be as good as it was a couple years ago. Maybe even not as good as last year, even though they kind of struggled last year defensively. But I think they're going to be better than they were. But they have injuries. I don't know, Fournette, what the situation with him is. They have some wide receiver weapons. They have some weapons here and there, But their defense definitely going to get worse, but not terrible. Offense, Nick Foles. Fuck if I know. That's my answer. Fuck if I know. I think the coaches, I'm not feeling the coach. I'm never like the coach. They're on the hot seat here. And I think they're going to blow it. I think they're going to blow it. They'll maybe close to being as good as the Titans, but they're going to blow it, I think, overall. I like Nick Foles quite a bit. I think he's a really good quarterback. I don't think he can carry this team. He can carry the Eagles because he had a team around him in the Eagles. As we get to the Eagles, I don't know about the Eagles, actually. I'll tell you why, but I think they will be fine with... I mean, I think Nick Foles is fine with the Eagles around him and as a quarterback overall. With the Jaguars, I don't know. We'll have to see. Chiefs, they'll lose to. Texans, they'll lose to. Titans, even. The first week, they'll lose to. I think they'll beat the Broncos. And the Panthers would be close. I'll give it to them. Saints, they'll lose to. Bengals, they could beat. Jets, they're going to lose to. Texans, they're going to lose to. Colts, they're going to lose to. Titans, they're going to lose to. Buccaneers, they're going to lose to. Chargers, they're going to lose to. They'll beat the Raiders. They'll lose to the Falcons. And they'll probably beat the Colts the second time. Maybe. Or maybe they'll lose to the Colts, but they'll beat the Chargers. I think they'll have a few surprise games here and there. But overall, I think they're a stinker. I think they're a stinker at 5-11. 5-1. Oh my god. No. 5-11 rather. 5-11. Not feeling them. Not feeling them this year. I just don't like them. Moving on to the last division in the AFC, the AFC West, we have the Chiefs. Now, I don't care what you guys say. I like the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be not as, I don't think he'll be as good as last year. But that doesn't mean he's bad. He was the MVP last year. I don't think he'll be the MVP this year. Don't think he's going to have 50 touchdowns throws. I think we got 45. He's going to be good. He's going to have Tyreek Hill on him. He's going to have Travis Kelce, the best tight end in football, now that Gronk is out. And even with Gronk in it last year, he was the best tight end in football. And an improved defense. Overall, the defense kind of sucked last year. They got rid of some defensive players. They added some new ones in. They got rid of a good amount of their defense. A few key defensive pieces, but they add some few ones in there. They will have a rampant offense, and they are in the easiest division, I think, in the league. I think the AFC West is going to be pretty bad, besides the Chiefs and maybe one other team. But we'll see how they do. Let's get over to their schedule, shall we? 49ers. No, sorry, not 49ers. Jaguars. I'm sorry, I was looking at preseason. Jaguars, they're going to beat. Raiders, they're going to beat. Ravens, they're going to beat. Lions, they're going to beat. Colts, they're going to beat. Texans, they're going to beat. Broncos, they're going to beat. They're going to lose to the Packers. I don't know why. I just feel it happening. Packers, they'll lose to. First loss. Vikings. I'm picking the Vikings, believe it or not. Titans, they'll beat. Chargers, they'll beat. Raiders, they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose. They'll beat the Patriots. They'll beat the Patriots. And then Bears and Chargers, they'll lose to. Yeah, I'm giving them. I think they'll even lose maybe a weird game here and there, like a weird game, kind of blow it. But they have a relatively easy schedule. They have a few tough games here and there, but they have a pretty easy schedule. I'm gonna actually give them a little bit of a harsher reality. I think they're going 11-5. I really do. I think the Ravens will, not the Ravens, sorry. I think they'll be just as good as the Browns, maybe even. I think they'll be better than the Patriots, even better than most teams. Even the Colts probably better than them, even though I think they'll actually beat the Colts because they're at home. Yeah, I think they'll, 11-5 is good though. 11-5 is good. I think that their defense isn't, what they finished last year, 12-4? Right? I think they finished 12-4 last year. So they'll lose one more game this year. That's a fair prediction. That's fine. I'm confident with saying that. Patrick Mahomes will be good. But their running game has some questions, that's for sure. Denver. Oh, I'm sorry, not Denver yet. Chargers. Pretty good year last year. Ended pretty tragically and pretty brutally, but I don't know, man. I do not know. Oh my God, I do not know. They're going to lose to the Colts week 1. Telling you that right now. They'll beat the Lions. And maybe I should actually, before I get to their 1-1, talk about them a bit. Phillip Rivers is going to have a decline. Calling it right now. He's getting older, just like Big Ben. He's going to have a decline. The end. End of story. Doesn't matter though. Defense is good. Bosa. They just have good defensive players. I like their defense. Offensively, good weapons. Good weapons. I don't think it's going to be much of the same. Much of the same with Rivers going a little bit down, which is why I think it's going to be a little bit worse, but not too worse. So we're going to start off 1-1. They will lose to the Texans. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. I think they'll beat the Broncos. I think they'll even beat the Steelers. But I think they're going to lose to the Bears. I think they're going to lose to the Packers. I think they'll beat the Titans, but lose to the Raiders. Lose to the Chiefs. The first time. Beat the Broncos. Beat the Jaguars. Lose to the Vikings. Beat the Raiders. Beat the Chiefs. So I think I'm actually putting the same record they had last year. Although they finished 10-6 last year. So just like the Chiefs, I think they'll have one worse. They'll be slightly worse than 10-6. I think they'll lose one more game than 10-6, putting them at 9-7. Not bad. I don't have much to say about the Chargers. I think they'll be fine. I think they haven't got much better or much worse, but I think they have more potential to go down than up. That's why I'm kind of keeping them the same, but putting them a little bit down. That's how I feel about the Chargers. That's how I feel about the Chargers. Why can I not find the Chargers on here? Oh, because I got rid of them. Okay. Now we can get to the Broncos. Oh, how I don't like the Broncos. Not as a team, because I'm not high on them right now. Defense, fine. Running game, Lindsey's good. I think he's really good. I think they actually have some really good playmakers in offense. But what the fuck is their quarterback situation? Joe Flacco? Sorry, that was a big mistake. Sorry, John Elway. I think you did a very good job getting Peyton Manning. I think you've struck out ever since. I think Brock Osweiler, he didn't actually stay around. He got traded, which was laughable now. Brock Osweiler is not good. Travis Simeon was not good. Case Keenum didn't work for you. Now we're going to try Joe Flacco. I hate to break it to you. Not going to work. You're going to lose to the Bears. You're going to lose to the Packers. You're going to lose to the Jaguars. I think you'll even lose to the Chargers and Titans and the Chiefs. Going 0-6. I'm telling you, they're going to go 0-6. Bold prediction. Maybe go 1-5, but not a good start. Even going to lose to the Colts, lose to the Browns, lose to the Vikings. The Broncos are going to be one of the worst teams. I'm calling it now. They'll do fine against the Bills. They'll beat the Bills. They probably will even beat the Chargers one time. Maybe the Texans they'll lose to, and the Chiefs again they're going to lose to. But the Raiders, they'll beat the Raiders twice, and they'll beat the Lions, I think. So hey, don't get too down. I'm only giving you the worst record so far. Sorry, Broncos. I think you're finishing 4-12. Yeah. Not good for the Broncos, is it? I'm sorry. I'm not feeling you here, Broncos. I just cannot see that defense carrying this team. Offense is good. I think they'll have some breakout games. They'll win a surprise game. I think maybe they could even beat the Vikings, but not feeling them. I'm just not feeling them. I'm really not. The Oakland Raiders will get better defensively. Not much. Not going to be great defensively, but they'll be better. A little bit. Antonio Brown, I think, will turn out to be one of the biggest mistakes they've ever made. Derek Carr is good, and I do think Antonio Brown will actually win them 1 or 2 games. And I think they might actually be, they're going to be better than last year. I think they'll even be better than maybe the Broncos, really. We'll have to see, but I don't trust, they're neither Peanut as their backup, and I don't trust Carr. I do not trust Carr. I don't think he is good. I think the Raiders need to dump him. They need to get someone better. And I think Antonio Brown's going to have a fit. Like, this organization is going to continue to be Very meh. With a better defense. Not great defense, but a better defense. And the same offense with Antonio Brown, who will make them go from like here to like here, but that's about it. I think they'll even lose to the Broncos week 1. I think they'll actually lose to the Broncos week 1. But I think they'll lose to the Chiefs. They'll lose to the Vikings. They'll lose to the Colts. Lose to the Bears. I think they're going to beat the Packers. Don't know why. I just feel them beating the Packers. I even feel them actually beating the Lions. And the Texans, they'll lose to. Chargers, they'll lose to. Bengals, I think they'll beat. I really do. Jets, I think they'll lose to. Chiefs, they'll lose to. Titans, surprise win. I think the Raiders will be the Titans. Actually, no, they'll lose to the Titans. Surprise win against the Jaguars. I think they'll beat the Jaguars. I think they will beat the Chargers and Broncos, win 1. And maybe have a surprise win in there. So I'm actually not super against them. They will have a losing record, and it won't be great. But hey, it could be worse. 6-10 is much better than their schedule than their record last year. So I'm putting them at 6-10. Not a good year. But they'll have a few surprise games. 4 easy games, 2 surprise games. Antonio Brown will carry them 2 games. That's it for the AFC. Halfway there, ladies and gentlemen. Only an hour in. Let's move on to my division. We're going to be a little bit before we get to my team, but I have a lot to talk about with them. The Cowboys. So, Zeke is holding out right now. I am predicting they will make a deal with him. I'm predicting he actually might miss week 1, but I think he will actually come back for the rest of the year. And I think they're facing the Giants week 1. That's going to be bad for the Giants because they're going to start Eli Manning, and we're going to see how that goes. I'll get the Giants in a second. I'll talk about the Giants for at least 15 minutes. I have a lot to say about them. But their defense is good. There's no denying that. One of the better defenses, one of the best, probably top 5, probably overall defense. Really good defense. I don't trust Dak Prescott. I do not trust Dak Prescott. I think Amari Cooper is going to do great. What the fuck who's back? Tight end. God damn, I can't remember his name. Jason. No. Oh my god, what the fuck is his name? It's one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game. I can't remember his goddamn name. I really have to look up the Cowboys tight end's fucking name. Guys, I do know a player's name. This is getting really hot in here, and I'm tired. And my brain's dead. How the fuck do I not know his goddamn name? Jason Witten. How can I remember his name? He's still playing with them. He retired, then he's back. But I think he's more of a mentor. Don't think he's going to do much. But they actually have a really good tight end. And this is weird that he's back, but I think they have actually a really good tight end. And I think, again, even though I think Elliott will probably miss week 1, maybe. He might be there for week 1. But I think... yeah, dude, Cowboys would be fine. Dak Prescott sucks. I'm sorry. I think he's not that. He's fine. He doesn't suck. He's not Derek Carr. He's a. If I had to rank 32 quarterbacks in the league, I'd put him probably at 15. So, he's in the top half. But as a starting quarterback, don't love him. But that defense, man, that offensive line, and if they have the running game, they're gonna beat the Giants week 1. Sorry, Giants. They're gonna beat the Redskins. They probably will beat the Dolphins. Saints, they'll lose to. They'll beat the Packers. They'll beat the Jets. I think they'll lose to the Eagles. I think the Giants will get them the second time. I really do. Put them at 5-3. They're gonna lose to the Vikings as well. They'll beat the Lions. They will lose to the Patriots. They will. But they will beat the Bills. They're gonna lose to the Bears. That's going to be rough for them to have to deal with that. They're also going to lose to the Rams. But I think they'll beat the Eagles and the Cowboys to finish off the season. I mean, the Cowboys, the Redskins. Putting them at an all right, a decent, and goddamn Cowboys are my least favorite team in football and of sports in general. So it hates me to say this, but I think they'll be fine. They'll finish 9-7. They may make that. They might win the division, if not, which is a pretty bad division. If not, they will at the very least get a wild card. Probably. Eagles. Listen to me, guys. Y'all Eagles fans. Defense good. Offense good. Coaching good. Great running game, good wide receivers. I hate the Eagles as a Giants fan, obviously, but goddamn, I respect them. And there's one thing about the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys and I don't respect them. I hate the Eagles, but I respect them. I do respect the Eagles. I don't respect the Eagles fans, but I respect the Eagles as a team. I really do. Here's where I'm going with the Eagles. They're going to be fine defensively and their weapons are fine. Carson Wentz he's too injury prone. He is too you guys, I understand why you got rid of Nick Foles. You have the better quarterback with Carson Wentz, but when he got hurt last year, who carried the team to the playoffs and won a game and almost won 2 games? 2 years ago, who won you the Super Bowl? I have to just say, I think he might get hurt again, and I don't trust him. I do not trust him. I think you guys will be all right. You're going to beat the Redskins, but you're going to lose to the Falcons. And you're going to beat the Lions, and you're lose to the Packers. You're going to lose to the Jets. I'm saying that right now. You will lose to the Jets. You will lose to the Vikings. You'll lose the first time against the Cowboys. Maybe you'll win. You'll go 1-1. So I'll actually give you the first one. And you'll beat the Bills. You're going to lose to the Bears. You're going to lose to the Patriots. You're even going to lose to the Seahawks, I'm saying. But you'll beat the Dolphins. You'll beat the Giants, which they're playing twice in the same month. Whoever makes these schedules suck my dick. You're going to lose to the Redskins the second time. And you're going to lose to the Cowboys the second time. But you beat the Giants. And you'll probably win a few surprise games. But I'm going to say it right now. This is probably my boldest prediction yet. I'm saying it. You guys are finishing 8-8. You guys are finishing 8-8. You really are. And here's why. I think you have an amazing team around you. I think injuries, maybe not the Carson Wentz, but I think injuries, I think you're just you lost some defensive players a little bit here and there, and I'm not loving you. I'm not loving the Eagles this year. They'll be fine. 8-8. Neutral record. Not loving them. Now we have the racist skins. I mean the Redskins. I mean the racist, the Redskins. Sorry. What are the racist skins? What is their schedule? So, big question at quarterback, Colt McCoy or Dwayne Haskins? I mean, I say go with Dwayne. I think Jay Gruden's coaching career is on the line, and it should have been years ago. I think he's a bad coach. I think he's one of the worst coaches coaching right now. I really do. I do not understand how this guy still has a job. And I think he'll probably get fired if he does not make the playoffs this year. Which I think the Redskins will not. Will not. Here's what I'm looking at. Looking at a Eagles. Well, all right. Defensively, they have gotten better. They got Landon Collins. Fucking the Giants threw him away. Great defensive player. You guys are going to love him. Really good. You still have Josh Norman, who goddamn I think is a piece of shit, but he's good. He's really good. And I think overall, you have some good offensive players. You have some good playmakers. Offensive line, I don't know how I feel about him. It depends who the plays quarterback. Dwayne Haskins, I don't think will be amazing. He's a rookie. He's going to have a rough time. Colt McCoy, I don't think will also play amazing either or. Not feeling the Redskins here. They're going to lose to the Eagles and Cowboys. They're going to lose to the Bears. They're going to lose even to the Giants, I think, in the Patriots. They'll beat the Dolphins. They'll beat the 49ers. They're going to lose to the Vikings. They'll beat the Bills. Jets, they're going to lose to. Lions, they'll beat. Panthers, they beat. Packers, they'll lose to. Eagles, they'll beat the Eagles the second time. And they'll beat. No, they're going to get swept against the Giants. And they're going to lose to the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm confident in saying that. I'm confident at putting them at 6-10. They're racist. I mean, the Redskins. 6-10. 6-10. I don't have much to say about them. 6-10. They will actually bounce back. I think they'll fire Jay Gruden. I think they will get a better coach. I think they will get some draft picks. Dwayne Haskins will start. This is their rebuild year. And it's unfortunate for Jay Gruden because he cannot afford that. Or maybe unfortunate for him because he should probably go. Guys, we got there. Last team in the NFC East. And congratulations, guys. We have reached them. My team. And I know more about the Giants than any team because guess what, guys? The Giants are my team. And goddamn, are they fucked. First of all, who will they start at quarterback? Daniel Jones or Eli Manning? Here's my prediction. If you start Eli Manning the whole season, losing record. If you start Daniel Jones the whole season, losing record, but close to a middle of the ground record. If you start Eli Manning and then start Daniel Jones, I think you will have a losing record. That's not terrible and not good. Obviously, defensively, Landon Collins is gone. Olivier Vernon, who I never really liked that much. A lot of people saying Olivier Vernon's so good in the Browns. The Giants are going to miss him. No, they're not. Got injured a lot. Never liked Olivier Vernon. Not a huge fan. He overpaid. Never liked him. Obviously, they got a lot of good new defensive players, a lot of young people. I think the defense is going to be fine. I think a good defense. A lot of good interceptions. Yeah, I'm actually pretty high in their defense. Not a top 10. Probably like number 12 or 13. Maybe 11. Good defense. Running game, no question about it. As long as he's healthy, Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league. Don't at me. He's only going to get better. Evan Ingram, good tight end. Then we get to the wide receivers. And this is where we are fucked. Odell Beckham Jr. was our best receiver. He's gone. That's not good. That's not good. We have Golden Tate now. Suspended for the first 4 games. Not good. Not good at all. Sterling Shepard out with a thumb. At least probably 1 week, maybe 2. It's not good. Other wide receiver. Is it? It's not Latimer. Latimer is probably our best receiver right now. At least to start the season, right? Corey Latimer is in. Let me look at. Who is it? Is it Coleman? It's really good wide receiver. Goddamn. They don't have an injury report. I think it's Corey Coleman, who they just signed to a big deal, by the way. Yeah, Corey Coleman's out with the ACL torn. That's huge. Corey Coleman, a great punt returner. Had a really good punt returns last year, and that sucks for him. He's going to be our receiver. Yeah, they're fucked in their quarterback situation. I think they should start. This is what I think they should do. I'm not predicting they'll do this. Listen, you have the Cowboys, Bills, and Bucks. That's a pretty easy schedule. I mean, Cowboys are tough, but Bills and Bucks should be easier. At least the Bills. The Bucks, I think, are going to be actually pretty decent, but we'll talk about them later. Start Eli Manning. 3 games. If he comes out with a winning record, let him play. If not, put in Josh Allen. Either way, tough schedule, not looking good. Here's where I have the Giants. Cowboys, they're going to lose. Bills, they'll win. Bucks, they'll lose. Redskins, they'll win. Vikings, they'll lose. Patriots, they're going to lose. Cardinals, they'll beat. Lions, they'll beat. Cowboys, they will actually beat, I think, the second week. The Jets, I think they'll even... they'll lose to the Jets. Lose to the Bears. The Packers, they're going to lose to. They'll beat the Eagles. They'll beat the Dolphins. They'll beat the Redskins. And they'll lose to the Eagles. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. We have another team that is going 8-8. And that's the end of it. 8-8. Giants. Not really improving. Saquon Barkley going to be good if he stays healthy. If Saquon Barkley gets hurt, they're winning 5 games. That's it. But I think they're actually not terrible without Odell Beckham. But what makes them so bad without Odell Beckham is they don't have any... I mean, you have Golden Tate, Corey Coleman's pretty good, Sterling Shepard's fine. But those 3 guys are going to be out week 1. And 2 of them are going to be out 4 weeks. And 1 of them's got the whole season. So, congratulations, guys. You're fucked. All right, moving on to the NFC North. Bears are going to decline. I am calling it now. Their defense is going to slightly get worse. Nothing crazy. But this is... And they're going to still be good. Top 10 defense for sure. But there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mitchell Trubisky, this is his year. Matt Nagy. Is he the real deal? Is he a good head coach? Some good offensive players lost a few offensive pieces, but I don't know, man. They're in a tough division. I don't think they're winning the division. But the fine defense should carry them at least to the playoffs, probably wild card maybe. They'll beat the Packers and they'll beat the Broncos. And they'll beat the Redskins. Start off 3-0. But they're going to lose to the Vikings. They're going to beat the Raiders, lose to the Saints. They're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to beat the Eagles. They're going to lose to the... they're going to beat the Lions, rather. They're going to lose to the Rams. Giants they'll beat. Lions they will beat. Cowboys they will lose to. I'm actually going to say. Packers they will win 1, lose 1. They'll lose this one. Chiefs they're going to lose to... No, sorry. They'll beat the Packers. And they'll actually beat the Cowboys, I'm going to say. But they're going to lose to the Chiefs. They're going to lose to the Vikings. And I'm going to put the Bears at just 1 game above the Giants, right? Can you believe this? I'm saying this? But yeah, I really am. Maybe 8-8 is generous for the Giants. The Giants suck. The Giants going to suck. But the Bears, 9-7. They might get a wildcard spot. But they have a tough schedule. And I just think Mitchell Trubisky is going to start feeling the pressure. This is his year to prove himself. And I think he's going to have a tough time doing it. Guys, I'm going to move through these a little bit quicker. I need to get some fucking cooling off here. Vikings. Oh, the Vikings. How they are going to be good. Their defense is stacked. There's no question about that. Their offense is good. I like them. Kirk Cousins. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But better offensive coordinator. I think Cook is actually going to be good this year again to play. Thielen. Great receiver. Great wide receiver. I still have them losing week 1 against Falcons. But I have them beating the Packers. I have them beating the Raiders. I have them beating the Bears. I have them beating the Giants. I even had them beating the Eagles, Lions, Redskins, losing to the Chiefs maybe. Give them that. Even maybe lose to the Cowboys. I think they're going to beat them. I'll give them the win. Broncos they'll beat. Seahawks they'll beat. Lions they'll beat. Chargers they're going to get them the loss. And the Packers and Bears I'll give them 1-1. One of my boldest predictions yet. I am giving Kirk Cousins a good year, and I am giving them a 12-4 record. I think this defense is gotten way better. I think the firing the offensive line is huge. They had a lot of offensive problems last year, and they had a lot of problems sort of like managing their coaching staff. They had a lot of coaching problems. I heard a lot of coaching drama, and I don't know how I feel about their head coach, but I think they're fine. 12-4, one of the better teams in the league, and I think they're gonna be good. I think they're gonna have a good year this year. Easy schedule, without a doubt. And yeah, I like the Vikings. Packers. A lot of people are really high on the Packers right now, and me myself, I don't understand it. Not a huge fan of the coach. Defense better, but what is that saying? Aaron Rodgers is back, but what is that saying? He's injured. He's very injury friendly. Very injured. Risk for injury is pretty high for Aaron Rodgers. They have some offensive weapons that I can get behind. They have some really good receivers. A lot of people are really high on. I just not feeling the Packers. They're in a tough division with the Bears and the Vikings, who I think are going to be 2 really good teams, especially the Vikings. And I'm not feeling them. Starting for the Bears, I think they're going to lose. Even starting with the Vikings, they're going to lose. But I think the Broncos, they'll beat. I think the Eagles, they'll that's going to be a good one. That's a Sunday night game for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. I think they will win. but they're going to lose against the Cowboys. They'll beat the Lions. They'll beat the Raiders. They'll lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Chargers. They'll beat the Panthers. 49ers. They're actually going to... I'm going to say because the 49ers are such a question mark, I'm going to give the Packers the win against the 49ers. I'll even give them the win against the Giants. I'm going to give them the win against the Redskins. But they're going to lose to the Bears. They're going to lose to the Vikings. And they'll beat the Lions. Giving them a winning record. 9-7. That is the same record as the Bears. But when I said I wasn't too high on them, I didn't mean I think they're bad. I just don't think they're going to be amazing. Like everyone, their Super Bowl odds are high. Like it's like they're the fifth highest Super Bowl team, and I do not understand that. The Vikings have a much better chance. I think the Vikings will be a better team. Matt Patricia's getting fired this year because the Lions have Matt Stafford, and that's about it. And I don't even think Matt Stafford is that good. Here's my big problem with the Lions. Defensively, I think they're going to be actually better. I think they're not going to have a bad defense. But their offense is going to suck. Oh, their offense is going to be bad, man. I'm sorry. Who do they have? Is Blunt still on the team? He might be all right. He might be all right. That's about it, dude. They might have a rookie out. They might have a breakout. Maybe a few players break out. I think Matthew Stafford will have a fine year. But I think they'll beat the Cardinals week 1. I'll give them that. But they're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to lose to the Eagles. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. They're going to lose to the Packers. They're going to lose to the Vikings. They're even going to lose to the Giants. And they'll beat the Raiders. They will lose to the Raiders, guys. They lose to the Raiders. They'll lose to the Bears. They'll lose to the Cowboys. They'll lose to the Redskins. They'll lose to the Bears. They'll lose to the Vikings. They'll beat the Broncos. And they'll actually probably even maybe squeeze against the Bucs. The Bucs. But I am giving Detroit the worst record so far. And maybe the worst record overall. I do not like the Lions this year. Giving them a 3-13 record. First overall pick in the draft. Matt Patricia fired. Lions disgraced. New quarterback time? Maybe. I don't like the Lions. That's really all I have to say about the Lions. Not high on them. The Saints are going to have a decline this year. Not only do I think someone in the division is going to be much better, and I'll talk about them in a second. I think they're going to have a tougher division. Not only that, I think Drew Brees is going to had a really rough end to his season last year. And although they did get fucked against the Rams and probably should have made the Super Bowl. They have a decent defense, actually. I'll give them that. And they have a pretty good loadout offensively. Not going to be enough to propel them to the greatness, but they will be good. Because they have a pretty easy schedule. I think they'll beat the Texans. They're going to lose to the Rams, though. They'll beat the Seahawks. They'll beat the Cowboys. They're going to lose to the Bucs. They are going to lose to the Bucs, and they're going to beat the Jaguars, but they're going to lose to the Bears. They're going to beat the Cardinals. They're going to lose to the Falcons. They're going to beat the Bucs. I'll give them 1 win against the Bucs. They'll sweep the Panthers, so I'll give them 2 wins there. They're going to get swept by the Falcons, I'm telling you right now. 49ers, they'll even beat. And even Titans, they'll beat. Colts, they're going to lose to. They're going to lose to the Colts, I'm saying right now. So I'm putting them at a pretty all right 9-7. That's a decline, obviously, for them. I think they're not going to win the division. I think they will maybe get the wild card, possibly. But I'm not huge in the Saints this year. I think overall, Drew Brees is declining. Not bad at all. He will be a top 10 quarterback, but he's been showing signs. And his run at the end of the year, I don't think it's going to propel him into goodness next year. And they have a tough team to play in their division. And that is the next team I'm going to talk about, the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be good. I really do. I think Matt Ryan is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. And I think defensively, they've gotten better. Not great, but they've gotten better. Defense is going to be good. Offense, ladies and gentlemen, hear me out. Julio Jones is a great wide receiver. Matt Ryan, good quarterback. Offensive line needs some work. Running game, not loving it. But Calvin Ridley is my sleeper pick of the year. Calvin Ridley, no longer a rookie. A lot of you may not even know his name. He's going to turn heads this year. He is going to turn heads as they beat the Eagles week 1. I'm telling you right now. They're going to lose to the Colts. I think the Colts will beat them, and that's okay. But I think they will beat the Titans, and they will beat the Texans, and they will beat the Cardinals. They're going to lose to the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be good. They're going to lose to the Rams. Seahawks they'll beat. Saints they'll beat twice. Panthers they're going to beat twice. Buccaneers they'll beat once, and there's once. I just have a feeling. 49ers and Jags, I think they will beat both of those teams. I'm high on the Falcons, guys. I'm giving them a nice division win, 12-4. 12-4. One of the best teams in football next year. I like the Falcons. They just improved. I'm telling you all, y'all will believe me when it happens. Calvin Ridley, he's good. He's going to improve for sure. And I think he and Julio Jones are going to lay heads. It's a really good duo. Carolina Panthers are fucked. So Cam Newton is apparently playing. He's apparently starting, right? Let me confirm this. Which is a very dumb move because he got hurt last year, and I just don't think he's going to be. I think it's risky playing him. I'm just trying to get the exact deal because this is huge. Did you do Green Bay? Yes, I did. So, Cam Newton is playing week 1. What a mistake. What a mistake. This dude, what was Green Bay? I gave Green Bay 9-7. I think people are overhyping them a little bit, but 9-7. I think they'll be a wild card team. They have a tough schedule. Injury prone too. And defense could still use a little work. So 9-7. But I think next year, I think it's a rebuild year. I think they'll be better. A new coach too. I'm not 9-7. Going back to the Panthers. I think Panthers are going to finish last in their division. They have a tough schedule, and I think. Also, did you see Dak Prescott wants $40 million? You know what? And I'll do a little sidebar here with you. I did the Cowboys. What did I give the Cowboys? I gave the Cowboys also 9-7, maybe 10-6. I was a little harsh on them because I'm not sure about the Zeke holdout. And Dak too. Dak's a big factor. I don't think Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. I think he is meh. But he does deserve to get paid. He is one of the most underpaid quarterbacks. Like, he is getting paid chump change right now. Yeah, $40 million though. I want to give him $40 million. But I also don't think they have a backup, so they're kind of stuck with him. I don't know. I would negotiate something with him, but we'll have to see how that works. But going back to, I think Cam Newton's hurt. I think maybe he'll start week 1. Maybe he won't. But if I am the Panthers, I do not start him week 1 against the Rams because he could just get injured all over again. Losing week 1 against the Rams. Losing 1. And again, they have good offense. They have good offensive players. Christian McCaffrey is great, dude. He is great, right? He's probably the best wide receiver who can catch. Saquon Barkley's close, but he's better. When it comes to catching, as a running back, Saquon Barkley is league's better, but as a catcher, he's good. So I think he will actually win some games for them, but they're going to lose against the Rams. They'll lose against the Bucks. They're going to beat the Cardinals. I'll give them the Cardinals. I won't give them the Texans. I won't give them the Bucks. I'll give them the Jaguars. I don't know, man. I'll give them the Jags. I'll be generous. I'll throw the Panthers a bone. That's about it, though. They'll be fine against the 49ers, but they're gonna lose against the Titans. They're gonna lose against the Packers. They're gonna lose against the Falcons. They're gonna lose against the Saints. They're gonna lose against the Redskins. They're gonna lose against the Falcons again, and the Seahawks and the Colts, and even the Saints. That's it. I am not happy. I'm not confident with them, but I'll be a little generous. I'll give them 1 or 2 surprise wins. I'll put them at 5-11. I really will. I think they're gonna be. I really think the Panthers. They have Christian McCaffrey. They have a pretty good defense and a good coaching staff. But I think Cam Newton is going to get. I think they should not play Cam Newton. Like if he's really hurt, rest him. And I think they're going to surprise everyone. I think a couple days before week 1, they're going to be like, Cam Newton is not playing week 1, and then week 2 they'll be like, all right, he's going to play week 3, and then he'll come in week 3, and then he might get hurt again. He might do average, but I think Cam Newton is fine. But I think an injured Cam Newton is not good, and I just don't see it happening. I see a bad year for the Panthers and the Bucks. I do not fucking know, dude. What the fuck? So originally, the Buccaneers had one of the worst defenses. Their defense was poopy. Their defense was bum. But I think their defense is getting better. Will get better. Not great. Go from being one of the worst to a mid-tier defense, maybe like number 17, 16 overall. Not great, not good. Meh defense. But they have Bruce Arians, guys. And I gotta tell you something. I think Bruce Arians is a really good head coach. I really do. And I think Bruce Arians can turn this team around. Evans. They have some really good offensive players. JVP on defense. I was very anti-Jameis Winston for a while. I thought he was pretty bad. And then I thought, hey, he could be good. And then I went, oh, never mind. And now I'm like, it's risky, right? Really risky. But Jameis Winston has to prove himself this year, which is why I think he'll play better than he's played before, but not incredible. And here's where I have the Buccaneers. They will lose week 1 to the 49ers, but they will beat the Panthers, and they will beat they won't beat the Giants or the Rams or the Saints, but they'll beat the Panthers again, and they'll beat the Titans, I think, and they'll maybe even beat the Seahawks, maybe surprise Seahawks, and they'll beat the Cardinals, but they're gonna lose to the Saints and the Falcons. They're gonna beat the Jags. They're gonna lose to the Colts. Lions they'll beat. I'll give them the Lions, and that's it. They'll lose to the Texans and Falcons. Yeah, nope, I lied. Bruce Arians is going to have a tough time, but they're going to have a rebuild year, 7-9. They'll get some good draft picks, and they will be in it next year or the year after that. But I do have them better than the Panthers, so 7-9. 7-9. Moving on to our last division, the Rams, or rather the AFC East, but starting with the Rams. Super Bowl losers, and that is never good. You always usually have a rough time when you lose a Super Bowl, unless you're the Patriots, of course. But their defense got better. Their offense got Cooper Kupp is back. Sean McVay, I am in. And Jared Goff is all right quarterback, and he's just lucky he's on a good team, because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be good. And he's lucky he has a good coach, which is why I'm saying the Rams defensively, good. Rams offensively, pretty good. They have an easy schedule, too, relatively, especially for a Super Bowl team last year. They're going to beat the Panthers, and they're going to beat the Saints, and they're even going to beat the Browns and the Bucks. I'm going to say between the Seahawks, they win one and lose one. 49ers, they'll beat. Falcons, they're going to lose to. Falcons, it's going to surprise everyone. Bengals, they will beat. And for example, when I did the Falcons schedule, if I said, oh, the Falcons lose to the Rams, but here I said, oh, the Rams lose to the Falcons, that's just me looking from their perspective. So I'm not contradicting myself. I'm just trying to look from their different perspectives. But anyway, Bengals will beat. Steelers, they'll beat. Bears, they're going to lose to. Bears will beat them. Ravens will probably beat them too, actually. Cardinals, they'll beat. Cowboys, they'll beat. 49ers, they'll beat. And Cardinals, they'll beat. They're in an easy division. That's lucky for him. That's all that's really lucky for him. But they're going to be good. 12-4. Win the division. They will win the division again. Back to back. I am confident in the Rams. Seahawks. It should be next. Yeah. I don't know. Lost a lot defensively. I think it's going to hurt them. And I'm not. Russell Wilson is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. I love Russell Wilson. I think people do not talk about him enough. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I really do. Top 5, top 10, definitely. He deserves the money he got. He's good, and he will win a lot of these games for them. They're gonna be good with Russell Wilson. Everyone else, though, defensively, they're gonna get worse. They lost a lot of defensive players, and I think offensively they will be okay. Okay. With Graham and such, they'll be all right. And Russell Wilson will carry this offense on his back. Won't be enough for them, though, to win the division. Because they're going to beat the Bengals and they're going to beat the Steelers, but they're going to lose to the Saints. They'll beat the Cardinals, but they're going to lose to the Rams once, but then beat them twice. So I'll give them one win there. Browns are going to lose too. Ravens, they're gonna lose too. They're going to lose to the Falcons as well, and the Bucks, and the Eagles, and the Vikings. They'll beat the 49ers, and they'll probably beat the Panthers, and they'll probably beat the Cardinals again. And they'll probably beat the 49ers. But they'll lose to the Rams. Oh, they'll beat the Rams, actually. So, no. Yeah. I'm feeling a solid 8-8. Solid 8-8. Solid 8-8. I gotta keep this going, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going for almost over an hour and a half. I'm fucking dying down here. 49ers. What the fuck, right? Like Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know. Defense, I don't know. Tight end with Kittle, I like him. One of the really good. I think he's gonna have a really even a better year. Running game, I'm not too confident. Rookie receivers, though, I like their receivers. They have a lot of young talent, and that's why I think they're gonna shock the world. They're gonna have some really good plays, but oh boy, they'll not only have a tough division but a tough schedule, and that's why I have them being a little bit worse than the Seahawks, but still having a losing record. Because they're going to lose to the Chiefs, they're going to lose to the Chargers, and they're probably going to even lose to the Bucks. But I think they'll beat the Bengals. I think they will lose to the Steelers and lose to the Browns and even the Rams. But I think they can beat the Redskins. I think they can beat the Panthers. Maybe. And beat them the Cardinals twice. I think they'll beat the Cardinals twice. I think the Cardinals are going to be pretty not great. We'll see. Talk about them in a second. Seahawks, they'll, like I said, 1-1 with that, probably. They'll beat the Packers, the Ravens, Falcons, Saints, and Rams they're going to lose. And maybe they'll pull one against the Seahawks. So, yeah. I'm going to analyze, guys. This is a crapshoot. I'm saying 7-9. They could go from anywhere from I think 7-9 to their best could be 9-7 and their worst like 4-12. I don't know, guys. I'm not huge on the 49ers, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo, he has played 10 games, guys. Even last year, he didn't have a great start. He didn't have a terrible start, but not a great start. I'm not feeling it. Last team. You tell me, guys. You tell me. First year coach, Kyler Murray starting. Kyler Murray is going to have a rough year. Not because he's a bad quarterback. I think he has a lot to learn. Rookie quarterback with a rookie coach who I think is not terrible. He's not the new Sean McVay, though. I am not feeling their defense. And don't get me wrong, Fitzgerald, legendary wide receiver, Hall of Famer for sure. David Johnson could be fine this year. Could be much better. But I think the Cardinals would be better with Josh Rosen than Kyler Murray. And no one agrees with me. I think Kyler Murray was going to do... Not Kyler Murray. Josh Rosen is going to do pretty all right in Miami. What did I give Miami? I give Miami 5-11. Yeah, he'll if he starts, he will win 5 games. But that actually might be worse than the Cardinals. Because looking at this, I think they will actually end up beating the Lions week 1. But then they have the Ravens, the Panthers. I'm gonna give it to the Panthers. And the Seahawks, I'm going to give it to the Seahawks. I'll give them the Bengals, not giving them the Falcons, not giving them the Giants, not giving them the Saints, not giving them the 49ers, not giving them the Bucks. I say they might win 1 against the 49ers, but they're going to lose against the Rams and the Steelers. Yeah, I'm putting them at a very solid. Prove me wrong, Cardinals. 4-12. 4-12. Finishing last place in their division. How's that how's that overall pick? Cardinals though, just like the Packers, especially just like the who the hell am I thinking of? The Dolphins. I think they're gonna have a really rough year, but then they'll have a really good year, if that makes any sense. The next year, 4-12. Guys, let me tell you who I think is gonna win every division, starting from AFC and NFC. Then I'm gonna go take a break and get cooled off. Starting with the AFC East, what a shock. Patriots at first place, but barely just above the Jets at second. Bills at third. Dolphins at fourth. AFC North, I'm putting the Browns in first place, barely over the Ravens in second. Steelers in third and Bengals in fourth. AFC South, if they can stay healthy, I'm putting the Colts at number one. The Texans not too far behind, a little bit far behind, number two. And the Titans not too far behind, number 8 and number 3. And Jags in fourth place. Jags could shock me. Don't expect it, though. I like Nick Foles, but I'm not high on him. Chiefs finishing first in their division pretty easily with the Chargers in second, the Raiders in third, and the Broncos in fourth. Going to the NFC East, and God doesn't hurt me to say this, the Cowboys are finishing first. The Giants and the Eagles, I have both finishing 8-8. I think the Giants are going to be bad, but get a little better. Eagles, with the injuries, I'm putting 8-8. Maybe 9-7. I will say the Eagles. I guess if they're tied, I'm going to give it to the Eagles here. So Cowboys first, Eagles second, Giants third, Redskins fourth. Redskins are going to have a tough year. Good defense team, not a good offense team, especially with the quarterback situation. Looking at the NFC North, the Vikings at number 1. I think they're going to have a good year. The Packers and Bears, same record. I'll give it to the Bears at number 2. Packers at number 3. Lions at number 4. NFC South, got the Falcons having a really good year, having just as good as the Vikings, maybe even better. At number 1, having the I'll tell my best team in a second. Sorry, Falcons at number 1. Saints at number 2. Bucks at number 3. Panthers at number 4. NFC West, I have the Rams finishing first place. I have the Seahawks finishing second. I have the 49ers finishing third. And the Cardinals finishing last. Worst record goes to Lions at 3-13. The best record. So I have no teams with 13 wins, which is not going to happen. One team will win 13 games. But looking at this, I have the Colts. I have the Vikings. And I have the Falcons and Rams all at 12-4. If I had to pick a best team out of all of them, I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think they're going to be good. That's my predictions. What do you guys think? Tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me how I'm good. Tell me how I'm not good. You guys let me know. I'm sweating. I'm going to go cool off. Hello, YouTube. Follow the links in the chat. Bye, guys. Who's going to win? Yell at me in the chat. Tell me I'm wrong. And I probably will be.